I want to start here with Kirby Smart. We love to start with something fun if we can. And I think this person was, trying to say something a little bit different than what they asked Coach Smart. But of course, we all know Alabama's that just that demon that Georgia and Kirby and company just cannot slay. We've talked about it time and time again. We all thought the SEC championship was going to be the time Georgia finally slayed the Crimson Tide. Are they the bogeyman?
Coach Smart, I have a question for you kind of about the dynamic that Alabama occupy, or like kind of the mental space it occupies in the heads of either your coaching staff, your players. It seems like it's sort of the Crimson Tide have taken on a sort of bogeyman quality for Georgia in that they are the benchmark to which, this program is often compared, but also one that has seemed to always get the best of your team. How do you handle that kind of mental dynamic when you're preparing your athletes to play them, for the second time in such a short span?
First off, what is the bogeyman? What did you reference it as?
I said Alabama is a bogeyman to Georgia football.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is, so it's hard for me to answer that question other than they've also been a problem and a thorn in every single team they played side besides just ours. So we have that in common with a lot of teams that have played them. They got a really good football team, really good coach, and a really good program. It starts with good football players, and they've done a great job at recruiting those. And I think when you look at the skill set of some of the guys they've had come through there, and I know myself just looking at the last 2 or 3 times we played them, I think somebody said either 6 or 7 first round wideouts have all played, and that skill set is pretty unique. I don't think there's any team in the country that's had however many it's been, the run they've had on those, and that makes it, you got to play well. You got to play well in the red area. You got to play well situational football. You can't turn the ball over and expect to beat good football teams. And those are things that we have done when we played them. We turned it over, and we can't do that. But as far as the mental capacity and mental mindset of our guys, they're excited. They earned another opportunity to go play a really good football team, and we've got a really good football team. So our guys are physical, excited, and looking forward to this opportunity on the biggest stage there is.
All right, so clearly, I think she was trying to say boogeyman, but bogeyman, a lot of people had fun with that. What's Kirby Smart, Nick Saban? They are golfers, so maybe this is a golf term I'm unfamiliar with, but bogeyman, Kirby was not really biting on that. I think he's having some fun here, but hey, make no mistake, this is the boogeyman for not just, as like Kirby says, not just for us, right? For damn near everybody. There's a reason why every time Alabama goes down to Texas A&M like they did this year, LSU a couple years ago, Auburn throughout the years, even though, far more often than not, Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. When you beat the Crimson Tide, it's a game that is basically immortalized on your campus. Hell, South Carolina, the last SEC East team to beat Alabama, what was that, over 10 years ago? They're still remembering that. The Ole Miss, the times they've beat them. I mean, it's just so damn rare that it happens. So there's some validity here to what Kirby Smart's saying. It's not just our boogeyman, it's the country's boogeyman. But here's the opportunity for Georgia to finally slay it once again. They didn't get it done round one. No one will give a damn about that if the Georgia Bulldogs win here on Monday evening in the national championship. And how they're going to get that done? They're going to need a big performance from Brock Bowers. He's looking like arguably the best player on Georgia's team, which is incredible considering he is a true freshman. Here's the latest on Brock Bowers from Kirby Smart.
Hey, Coach. Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is now. I just double check on Brock Bowers. I know you touched on him. He had kind of dinged his shoulder a little bit a couple weeks ago. See if you had any further word on him.
No, Brock's good. He was good in the game. He's that same shoulder has bothered him all year. To be honest, it's not like it's something new that just came up. I mean, it bothers him from time to time at practice. It happens to a lot of our players, to be honest with you. I had it when I played. So it's something you have to, just deal with. And in the off season, we'll get to look at it and see if it needs to be repaired and surgically, or whether or not it's something that he can rehab and continue to strengthen the muscles around it. But it's not. He's a football player. I mean, it's not going to go away in the season. So a lot of our guys are dealing with that.
All right, so again, Bowers didn't finish out the Michigan game. They didn't need him. I mean, if the game was on the line, he would have been playing. But great sign here for the Bulldogs. Nick Saban, we'll get to his comments here in a moment. But he was really talking about Brock Bowers as well. So, hey, if you're getting Nick Saban to talk about you, you're a true freshman, you know you're an elite player. But what's the game going to come down to for Georgia is it's all about, and they did a lot better job in the second half of the SEC championship than they did in the first half. And a lot of that had to do with getting to Bryce Young. Something Shane and I even talked about on the last episode. Cincinnati managed to get after Bryce Young. The Iron Bowl, of course, that was the key issue there. I know Jamison Williams got booted from that game for targeting, but the Tigers were all over Bryce Young. LSU the same. That is the key to rattling this young quarterback. Well, I don't even know if you can rattle him, but hell, no quarterback is going to perform as well with a clean pocket as he is getting harassed all night. Georgia has got to find a way to get to Alabama's star quarterback, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Here's Kirby Smart on getting that pressure on Bryce Young.
Kirby, you guys didn't get much pressure on Bryce Young in the first meeting. What can you do to change that, and how important of a dynamic is that in this game?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, they did a good job. Number one, he did a good job of moving around in the pocket, of creating time. He's really way more elusive than people give him credit for. Extremely good athlete, has elite spatial awareness. He knows where people are, where his people are, where he's protected, where he's going with the ball beforehand. And it wasn't for a lack of trying. And we brought a lot of different pressures. They did a good job picking those pressures up. And at the end of the day, there's 4 or 5 guys that are one-on-one up there. Somebody's got to win one-on-one. And a lot of times you're better at pressure when you're not on the field as long and you're winning some third downs. We had some really critical third down losses that hey, they didn't beat us. We busted. And you can't do that, not beat a good football team. You're giving them extra snaps every time that happens, and you can't do that.